This is Rabbi Yossi Lerman. Thank you for joining me for a thoughtful moment together. An educator once visited the late Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he wanted to know what is his definition of a good educator. And this is what the Rebbe told him. The Rebbe made reference to the famous story about King Solomon. The story is recorded in the book of Kings 1, chapter 3. Two women arrive to the king's palace. They are fighting and they are debating the issue. What's the problem? Well, one woman says that I gave birth to a baby boy, and then a few days later, the other woman gave birth to a baby boy. Woman number 2 was sleeping in bed and accidentally rolled over her son and killed him, suffocated him. So now woman number 2 had a dead child. Woman number 2 took her child, the dead child, and exchanged it with woman number 1. Took the live child and gave her the unlive child, the dead child. So now everyone claimed that the living child was theirs. How? How in the world is King Solomon going to answer this question? Now remember, they didn't have DNA in those days. Well, the king orders, "Bring me a sword," says the king, "and we are going to cut the living child in half." Okay? So that way, simple. What's the problem? You are arguing, you're debating, you want it, we'll split it in half. Everyone was shocked. But one woman said, No, Your Majesty, don't touch the child. Don't kill the child. Give the whole child to the other woman. It's okay. On that point, the king ruled, that is the real mother. She is the real mother. She would rather not have her child, but make sure that her child is safe and sound. The other woman said, fine, I'm not going to have it and you're not going to have it. That seems to be a equal deal. Now many actually wondered, what is the message here? Did King Solomon actually think of killing the child? What is the idea we can learn from this story? And so the Rebbe took the story and applied it to us and said, well, many times what the king would do, the king said, let's split the child and we'll share. You take the child for 2 weeks and you take the child for 2 weeks. It seems to be a reasonable conclusion. So the one mother, who was not the real mother, said, yes, that's amicable. I'll accept that agreement. I'll take the child for 2 weeks. I'll enjoy this little cute little boy. And when I get a little bored, and when he gets a little bit too wild, I'll give him up. But the real mother said, I'm not going to split my child. My child is not going to have two mothers, two homes, two lives. I would rather give up my share, but to know that my child is one. And the message for educators and the message for parents. Children need to have one consistent message. They do not operate well when there is inconsistency. They do not operate well when they see dichotomy, when they hear one story and see another story, when father says one thing and mother says another thing, when I'm living with my father and then I'm living with my mother. Children need the stability and the security of one place, one home, and one message. That is where children do their best. So what they learn in school is in fact the same thing they see at home. Or what mother tells them is exactly the same thing that father tells them. And what they hear and what they see in life is all the same one message. Then we have one child with one heart, one piece of life. Thank you again, and join me for another thoughtful moment. If you have any questions and comments, please email me at rabbi@chabadofgwinnett.org on the screen. Thank you.